Today on Sports Central, we go over a college football game preview and prediction on a big matchup coming up here in the Big 12 in Week 5 of this 2021 season, and that's going to be between the Baylor Bears and the Oklahoma State Cowboys, two teams of which who are now in the top 25. Both had great wins last week, and overall it's going to be a huge game for both these teams in determining how their seasons will go as we head into October. So that being said, we'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. Last week, Baylor beat Iowa State 31-29, solid win there for the Bears, and they're 4-0. So this is an undefeated Baylor team right now who are coming off of a huge win against a top 15 team. As for Oklahoma State, they beat Kansas State 31-20. They got two straight quality wins in a row as they've beaten both K-State and Boise State in the past couple of weeks. So Oklahoma State is 4-0 as well heading into this matchup. Baylor is ranked 21st. Oklahoma State is ranked 19th. So both teams hovering around the top 20. Game will be on Saturday, October 2nd, Stillwater, Oklahoma. So the Cowboys are the home team in this matchup, and it'll be at 6 p.m. Central Time. So we got a night game here between Baylor and Oklahoma State. Spread currently has Oklahoma State by 3.5. Over/under is 49.5, and your ESPN FPI is going with the Cowboys as well, 53%. So overall, it's expected to be a close game, and that's what I'm expecting as well. I mean, you got two teams that are pretty equally skilled, so we should see a close one here between Baylor and Oklahoma State for sure. Series history, Oklahoma State leads at 21-18. Win streak is Oklahoma State by 1, and in your last 10 matchups, Baylor leads at 6-4. So overall, Baylor has had more success in the short term, but looking long term, Oklahoma State does lead the series by 3 games. Here's your stat comparison for this matchup. Baylor's got 42 points per game, 15 points allowed, and these are averages after 4 weeks. 217 average pass yards a game, 273 average rush yards. So Baylor has done very well rushing the ball so far this season, nearly 300 rush yards on average per game. But the passing game has also been pretty good. I mean, Bohannon has played very well so far this season. Yards allowed, 149 passing, 141 rushing. So defensively, Baylor is also pretty talented. As for Oklahoma State, 25 points per game, 19 points allowed, 220 average pass yards, 144 average rush yards. Then for yards allowed, 224 passing, 87 on the rushing end. So the rush defense for Oklahoma State looks very good so far. I mean, if you're allowing under 100 rush yards per game on average, I mean, that's a pretty impressive stat. Here are your previous matchups for each of these teams as well. Baylor, once again, they beat Iowa State, ranked 14th in the nation at the time, 31-29. Beat Kansas on the road, 45-7. Beat Texas Southern, 66-7. And they beat Texas State on the road to start off the season, 29-20. So obviously, after that first game, this team, I mean, there were a few question marks because, I mean, you beat Texas State by 9 points, but this team has really improved, I'd say, so far this season. I mean, if you look at the past 4 weeks, you had a close game against Texas State, and then you completely blow out Texas Southern and Kansas, and then suddenly you knock off one of the top 15 teams in the nation. So Baylor looking pretty good right now. As for Oklahoma State, this is also a team that's improved, I'd say, so far this season for sure. I mean, you start off the season with a close win against Missouri State, an FCS team. Then you have a close one against Tulsa, which Tulsa lost to an FCS team so far this season. But then you beat Boise State on the road and then Kansas State as well. So overall, I mean, both teams, I'd say, have improved dramatically over the past 4 weeks. Obviously, that huge win for Oklahoma State against Kansas State last week, 31-20, really is starting to, I mean, that's really where I was able to see, like, yeah, Oklahoma State, this is a team that's pretty talented for sure. Some key points for this one, both teams are 4-0, obviously. Baylor, big win against Iowa State last week. They've got plenty of momentum heading in. That's going to help them a ton, but problem is it is a night game, so you got to consider that. Baylor's going to have to go on the road in a pretty tough environment at night and get a win. So Baylor's definitely going to have to play very well in this matchup. But Bohannon, their quarterback, he's played pretty well so far this season. Really wasn't expecting that. I mean, this is a very young quarterback situation, and Bohannon, he's played very well so far, and that's definitely a great sign for Baylor so far this season. As for Oklahoma State, this team has improved in the past 4 weeks for sure. Solid rush defense, and they've got 2 straight solid wins as well. Once again, they had that huge win over Boise State a couple weeks ago on the road, and they also beat Kansas State this past week. So both teams, I definitely think, are close to being top 20 teams. Baylor is just one position out. In my rankings, I actually had Baylor as number, I think, 20, and then Oklahoma State was 17, if I'm right. So, yeah, both teams I do believe are top 20 teams right now. Well, that being said, let's get to the prediction for this matchup. Baylor, Oklahoma State, huge matchup coming up here in the Big 12 in Week 5. 31-21 is my predicted final score. I've got the Cowboys getting the win. I think this will be a close matchup throughout, and I expect it to be within probably a touchdown score for the majority of the game. But got to go with Oklahoma State. I think this team is the more talented team here. They've got more upside, and I think Oklahoma State is this is a team that heading in to this 2021 season, I expected to be a big contender for the Big 12. And we're starting to see that team kind of emerge, and I think this could be a huge win for Oklahoma State here, beating a ranked Baylor team. And Baylor's going to keep it close. This is a talented Baylor team for sure that is pretty underrated, I'd say. But I still think Oklahoma State gets the win. Night game at home for the Cowboys, that's going to help them as well. Probability, Oklahoma State 60%, so I'm going with the Cowboys here. 49.5 is your over-under. I am taking the over in this matchup just slightly by about 3 points. So that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this matchup, and I appreciate you guys all watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you later.